Hey everybody, I'm Jimmy Owens and this is another episode of Behind the Unicorn. This is a video podcast where we take a peek behind the actual minds of people. These people have been successful in life, or they do something that sets themselves apart that most know or they don't know. But if you stay tuned, me and you're going to stick around and see how this applies to me and you. If you enjoy our content, there's 4 things that you can do to help us. You hit the like button, subscribe, leave a comment, or ring the bell. So before we get any farther, let's go ahead and get a drum roll for our guest, Jennifer Bennett. Jennifer, thanks for being on Behind the Unicorn.
Thank you for having me today, Jenny.
Yeah, you bet. Where are you located?
So we're in Texas.
Okay, awesome. The question that we ask everyone on the show, what makes you a unicorn, Jennifer?
What makes me a unicorn? I have a unique set of skills of leadership. I value work-life balance. I cherish my family more than anything. And so that exacerbates into my business and being able to be very compassionate and empathetic with my team to help them grow successfully.
Awesome. As a business owner myself, I can get really bogged down with tasks and, like you said, work-life balance and those things. I find it very intriguing that you help businesses become more organized and get more done. And that is your business. Your business is to get more tasks, and just thinking about that makes me just want to curl up in a ball and go to sleep. I just want to run from it. So how'd you get started?
I got started from being a real estate agent for 13 years. And along the way, I pretty much fell in love with setting up processes, setting up procedures to be able to work less, but get more done. And through that, just being able to set that up and be able to have more free time with my family. And my mom was like, hey, start a business with me. And so we launched Get Desky last year.
Awesome. And can you spell that name for me real quick?
Yeah. So it is Get, G-E-T, Desky, which is D-E-S-K-Y.
Okay.
And we pretty much handle all of the remote administrative work any business owner or company could need. Yeah.
And it just boggles my mind. I'm like, you want more task of everyone else's. So kudos to you. What's something we should consider when hiring a virtual assistant?
The things that I would ask is more of character. I hire people that may not have a whole lot of skills, but they value character. More importantly, ethic, being loyal, being wanting to work, just being a willing to just learn through failure. That's one of the biggest things that taught me the most was my failures, and really being able to take those failures and not look down upon yourself, and really take those as, okay, that didn't work out. So let's go back to the drawing board and let's make it just a little bit better tomorrow. Mm-hmm. So that's really what I look for when I hire my assistants, because everything else I could teach them. I could teach them how to do graphic design. I could teach them how to, manipulate the algorithms on social media. I could teach them how to write, a professional email. I could teach them how to shop online. I could teach them how to nurture people and be relational at the same time. I could teach them all these different things, but I can't teach character. Sure. So that's what I look for when I hire my assistants.
Yeah. How do I know that I have the right virtual assistant? Have you ever been in a scenario or heard people like, I tried it and now it just didn't work out, and some of those reasons why? I mean, I think it's kind of a hot topic, but an unknown territory for a lot of businesses.
Yeah. So I would say if you have given yourself 3 months for them to get to know you and you to get to know them, and at creating more work for you instead of less, then I would say you probably don't have the right one. And it could be you do have the right one, but you two aren't communicating right. So being able to have those times where you could go in and talk to them face to face, whether it's on Zoom or in person, and engaging with them and letting them know, when you don't like something. So that's one of the biggest things is when people hire assistants, they want to just be able to just like, okay, I'm just going to give you 2 bullet points. And then the owner doesn't really like it, but he just rolls with it and doesn't express that, he fully doesn't like it that way. So right. One of the things that we do is
it was just better because I didn't have to do it anymore. Right.
Right. But It's really not better because it was just, oh, they did it for me. I didn't really like the way that they did it for me. Like they didn't like the result. Not so much they didn't like the way that it was done, but they didn't like the end result of it. So if it was a graphic, but it was good enough, but they don't tell us like, hey, we like it this time, but can you do these different things better? So we kind of negate that also too, because when we create graphics for their socials or anything like that, we ask them, hey, here's the graphics that we have for you. Give us feedback. We want to know like, what can we do better on these? And so we ask them so that we can get better and so we can get to know each of the business owners better.
Yeah. And, we were kind of starting to touch on a question I had written down here. How have you seen virtual assistants hurt a business and help a business?
So I've seen virtual assistants that go in and they really don't have the understanding, or the business owner doesn't have the time to dedicate to teach the person, because a lot of the times when business owners hire a virtual assistant, it's too late. They're already so bogged down that they don't have time to teach somebody how to, do the things that they need them to do. So business owners really hire them too late. That's pretty much one of the biggest things. And then it becomes, one of those things where it hurts them because the business owner doesn't have time to dedicate to them. And the assistant doesn't know that there are certain things that they want certain ways. And one of the best ways that an assistant that is hired at the right time is it pretty much makes a lot of tasks. It takes the business owners from having to do, anything from scheduling appointments or, going and nurturing the leads that they have, to where they can do on the business stuff, where they're out and trying to get, their brand out there, being the face of their brand without having to, worry about all of these back end tasks.
Yeah.
So it makes them grow faster. So hiring an agent right at the right time is the pivotal part. So you have to start before you're ready.
Gotcha. Awesome information, Jennifer. Before we get too far today, I need to stop and thank our sponsor today, Allied Medical Marketing, for making this video podcast possible. Thank you guys. We appreciate your support.
We're helping hospitals, clinics, and doctors train their staff and turn patient education into marketing. It's time to start letting your patients meet their physician before they meet their physician with Ally Medical Marketing.
Is there anything else that you were wanting to add on? Because I've been kind of asking you some questions. Are there any questions that I haven't asked you that you want to touch on?
Work-life balance. It's something that I'm really a big proponent of. A lot of people think that, having a business, you got to work 24/7. And that's really not true. I help 7 different businesses right now. And I also operate my own business. And I do real estate too. So being able to have a work-life balance is probably the most important thing, to be able to have that, to be able to be successful, because rest is probably the most important part to owning a business or family, anything like that.
I have a question that kind of popped in my mind here that I was wanting to ask you. So let's say that, like me, I'm not for sure. I know I need help, but I don't know what kind of help I need. And you said that the more that you work with a business, you can kind of help discover wait, you need help here, or what if we did this for you? And, once they see your capabilities and then they can let go of some of those tasks, they can focus on kind of leveling, but they can level up their business, right?
Right.
Do you do any upfront discovery meetings or consulting with anyone before they're, I think you said that you like to do 3-month minimum with, I think, 15 hours a week. Is that right?
Right.
Okay. So is there a discovery or anything like that you guys offer up front? Or
Yeah, so we usually do a discovery call. And so basically I talk to the business owner and ask them, questions of what is your biggest task that you have that takes the most time, that it's not something that requires you to physically be there. I have some clients that it's my email. I don't need to look at all 500 emails. I don't need to read all of them. So we can sort through all of those and figure out exactly which ones do you specifically need to handle. And we go through there and we'll find all of them. And if some of them just need to be forwarded to other people, if that's something that you want us to do, we could do that. Other people are I have so many listings and I need somebody to just be able to create graphics of just listeds.
Yeah.
So we will go in there and we will get, the basic information of them, and we will create just listed graphics according to their branding guidelines and their state regulations. For real estate, they have regulations that they have to do. Some of them have to have their license numbers on all the graphics. And so we'll create that for them. And sometimes we even post them for them.
Okay.
So we could do a barrage of things. We can even go in there and create an appointment for somebody. So if they need to get their hair done for, an interview, we'll find a salon and we'll book an appointment for them. So
you just can't go sit in the chair and get your hair done for them.
Yes, we just can't sit in a chair and do it for them.
Yeah. What are most business owners or just people that need a VA that come to you most scared of? Do they mention their fears?
Security. So they mentioned security is one of the things they want to know.
Password security, password account security. Okay.
Yeah. And so we mitigate that by, we have them sign up for a LastPass account. It's free for them. And pretty much they share access.
I know how that works. So you have a LastPass account, you have a master password, and as you cruise around the websites, you can create new logins that's only associated to that account. But you have one, this is for our viewers. So then you have one master password that then gives you access to fill your passwords across the web or on your phone. But then how Jennifer and them would use it is you log in with your master password and say, I want to give her access to my Gmail account. Then I go to my Gmail listing inside of LastPass and I can only share that one with her. So that's how it works.
Yeah. And then you even have an option of sharing without showing password.
Yeah. And that was for you, not you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the best things that I've started using. I mean, we use it on our client accounts and everything. We share it with, among our office and everything, like different account passwords. We make a change, it updates it there. Everyone still has access to the passwords. I have lost countless hours by putting in passwords. And a lot of people have too. So, I mean, just that alone is a game changer.
Yeah. And then we also use VPNs on our computers as well too, so that when we're doing tasks for our people, we actually have a VPN that we log into. So so that way we're less likely to have a hacker come in and try to breach our computers.
Yeah. Well, I mean, on the other side of that, there is, hey, I don't know what I need. I don't know what a VPN is. Can someone reach out to you and you guys can help them with that and maybe even help set that kind of things up? I mean, that's the kind of stuff we're talking about. right?
Yeah. So
I know I need help with
we could
this.
research.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Yeah. So if they need a task manager, we could find them. We'll give them 3 different options. We will tell them, here's your options. Go and play around with each one, figure out which one resonates the best with you, because that's the one that's going to be best for them. One of the most trickiest questions is, which one is the best? And it's the simple answer is which one are you going to use? And you're only going to use it if it makes sense to you. And so we give you options, and we tell you, go start the free trials, go figure out which one you resonate with, because that's the one you are going to use. And so we integrate with whichever systems the business owner has.
So here's a fun question. So the companies that you're helping right now, are they really organized before they come to you? They have to get everything really in place, and then, they start using your services? Or do you guys help them become more organized and they're like, oh my gosh, I don't know how I ever functioned without you? Like, is there any of that?
So we have both. I have one that has no backend set up at all. They have no administrative backend stuff set up. And then we have another one that they were pretty organized, but they just needed a lot of administrative tasks for their team so that their team could focus on other higher level tasks.
So when you say administrative, can you tell me what those are? That way I can...
Any administrative. So we've created captions for their post. We have scheduled things for them. So we've scheduled meetings for them. Okay. We have went and purchased gift baskets for their clients. We take meeting notes for them. So we will actually attend their Zoom meetings and we'll take notes for them, and we will put those in after. We even do, for some of them, we actually even give them a daily task of like all the stuff that we're going to do for them that day. And then at the end of the day, we give them another update that pretty much says what we did for them that day.
That makes you feel good. There's a checklist that someone else did for me that I was supposed to do. Great.
And it also sparks them. A lot of the time it sparks them to be able to say, oh, I forgot to tell them that I needed this done today. Or, oh, I need to get this put on there. So it also allows them to be able to communicate that there's other things that they may not have communicated that need to be done as well too. But it also allows for that just communication of knowing like we are doing things.
Yeah. Well, I know that you guys are really responsive because we've been in communication here. You and I actually met on LinkedIn, and then we had a video call off of that, and then which kind of led to this. You're really responsive. Your team's really responsive. How responsive, like if I was, using your services and I'm like, oh, I know I could send you in anything, any time of day, I would assume, but it doesn't mean it would get done until when, right?
So we will give you a timeline. So it just depends on what it is, Sure. So if it's like, hey, I need you to go to Target, I need you to this online, and I need you to order it for, need to pick up this afternoon, then we would do it, the same day. Now, if it's like a research project, we'll tell you, hey, it's going to take us a couple of days to research and, give you some good feedback on those. So we accept them at all hours of the day, but we typically only work, our office hours are 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. Yeah. But you can email us or text us at any time.
You can email, text all weekend, but it may not get done until Monday or Wednesday.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's reasonable. I just wanted to ask because you could have been like, no, it's 24/7. We do it. I don't know. That's why I wanted to ask.
Yeah. We don't work that way. All of us are stay-at-home mothers. And so we, our first priority is to our family and our kids. Sure. And I really harp on my assistants as when you're off, you're off. Don't worry about answering, the Slack messages. Don't worry about answering the emails. Don't worry about answering the text messages. Work will always be there. And it's something that I always tell my clients of, look, if it's on the weekend or it's after hours, like we get them, but we're not going to reply to them until we come back into the office. And a lot of them, when you explain that to them up front, they understand, like, this is how we operate, but it is going to be taken care of, and it's going to be taken care of in a very timely manner. And we communicate the timelines for your tasks as well too.
Yeah. Well, I like always getting to talk to you and the responsiveness, and I like that you're just down the road from us in Texas. You're not too far away from us, and it's exciting to hear and see you growing your business and in, I think, a really hot market that is misunderstood, or has maybe not had the best customer service, right? Or maybe even the best the return or results. You always hear like everyone going, I mean, I get emails daily almost. Need help doing this, need help doing that, like always solicitation, but I just don't trust any of them, right?
Right.
Just don't. You don't know what's going to be a spam one and which one's going to hack your email. You just don't know. So I think you have a really big opportunity ahead of you, especially the way that you run your business. So.
Yeah, we really pride ourselves on being, very genuine, very trustworthy. Yeah. We take, security very seriously. And so we really like to be able to, express that to our clients as well too.
Have the people that are working with you ever been a virtual assistant before?
Yes. So they have been a virtual assistant before. So a lot of them come in and they were being a virtual assistant, on their own or for other companies. And the struggles that they had was that they couldn't get many clients, or the clients that they had were not very respectful. And so that's one of the things that I also too, because I can kind of negate that for them. So it's kind of like a double barrier. So it allows the business owner to have someone that is a very good communicator in the US. And then also on the other side, someone that kind of negates any of the back and forth of, someone being a little headstrong. And so I can kind of negate those situations as well too. So that way they get to do what they love. And that's, whether it's graphic design or, scheduling appointments or doing project research or anything like that, and not have to worry about having to do the rough part of customer service.
It all makes sense now. So, we started out the episode of saying, you do all these things, you're taking on more tasks from other businesses, but you yourself have 4 or 5 virtual assistants. So if I had one, I think I'd be doing great.
Yeah.
What's the favorite thing about what you do?
My favorite thing is actually the assistants, like getting to know them, getting to meet their families, getting to really pour into them, not just as a boss and a business owner, but also just pouring into their lives and really kind of flipping on their head, how a boss should really be, and mentoring them. A lot of them are younger moms. They have younger kids than I do. And so really kind of sometimes, they have a rough day being a mom. And sometimes I just go there and be like, hey, you know what? Your kid's still alive. I know they did some random thing. Seems like a big deal now. But your kid's going to be okay, and really encouraging them to, let go of that fear that you have as being a mom, or being guilty, when you're at work and you're not with your kids, really be like, you're doing what you're doing so that you can provide for your kids. So, really encouraging them to let go and be present wherever they are. And then also encouraging them that when you're off, you're off. Go be out there with your kids because they need you too.
Yeah. So Jennifer, where do you see the industry of, companies using virtual assistants going?
I see it being a very big industry in the next 4 or 5 years. COVID really kind of brought to light that there is a new way to be able to work and really be able to have a good work-life balance. A lot of companies saw their productivity really skyrocket with their employees being at home. I really see that, corporations are going to care more about projects being done versus, time. I know that I just saw a news article that said that the UK is testing out the 4-day work week for the next 6 months. I really see that people are starting to wake up to the fact that you don't actually have to check into somewhere 40 hours a week to get whatever it is done. You really just need to be focused on the end result. And so I really see that remote work and things like that, it's really going to start flipping, and it's really going to start going really, really fast. I really think I don't think that the UK is really going to go the whole full 6 months. I think they're going to get 3 or 4 months in and they're going to be like, oh, why didn't we do this before?
Yeah. Interesting. So you say you have 2 kids and a husband, right? What's your husband think about your business? What does he think about your unicorn capabilities?
My husband really likes that I can kind of be able to be available for our kids. He works in the oil field, so his job is not very flexible, whereas mine is extremely flexible. I have my computer and my phone, and I can pretty much go anywhere. My oldest kid, who is 17, she's really big into swimming. She's been swimming for a really long time. And even before I started Get Desky, even being as a realtor, if I had a computer and I had a phone, I was able to just go wherever and be able to work. And so having that flexibility to be able to be with my kids whenever they need me or whenever they want to have play dates or whatever, it makes it really flexible for us.
Yeah.
So that we're not having to hire other people to kind of, be with our kids. Because that's something super important to us, because we want to invest in our kids. We don't want other people investing in our kids to teach them what our values are.
Yep. Agreed. So what is your goal for Get Desky?
So my ultimate goal for Get Desky is I'm going to franchise it.
Okay.
It's going to be something to where other stay-at-home parents or other stay-at-home moms or anyone who really wants to have this type of model that we're building, that they'll be able to have their own system in place to be able to do that with any industry that they want to do. We've served multiple industries, and we are continuing to branch out into other ones all the time. And so in the next 3 to 5 years, we're going to be franchising this model.
Awesome. Well, like I said, I'm excited to see the growth of your company and where you're going to take it. So you've been in business for over a year, and you got started, you said because of COVID, right?
So I got started because my mom had been asking me to start a business with her. And we were going to just do transaction coordination for real estate agents. And then when we really started looking, real estate agents really need a lot more help than just transaction. And so we kind of were like, well, we'll just be an assistant for them. And then it was like, well, going through the process of really narrowing down who our ideal people were. We really came to the thing that we could just do a robust assistance. And we really found that we really like doing small businesses that really need administrative tasks. So that's where we landed on being a virtual assistant in general, being able to do any administrative tasks for businesses.
Had you ever used a virtual assistant before?
Before you got started?
Yes. So actually, the first virtual assistant that I used, I actually hired her for Get Desky. So she actually was with me for 6 months before I started Get Desky.
So how did that happen? Yeah, how did that happen? Did you get an email like I get every day and you replied to it, or you went and found one yourself? You went and did the research?
I went and did the research. I interviewed several of them, and I hired one. And from there, she did really good work. I started her off with a couple of tasks, and then when she got those down, then I kept adding more tasks to her workload. And she's been with us even now, so she's still with us as a Get Desky staff member.
So that experience made you go, hold on, I can help other people too.
Yes.
Okay. Awesome. Why the name Get Desky?
Get all of your desk work done.
Is that what it's for?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a simple wordplay. You want to get your desk work done. Get it done with Get Desky.
Okay. Awesome. Anything else?
No. I feel like we covered quite a bit.
Yeah, we did for sure. Tell me something that you do every day that you like to do and it's hard not to do.
Actually, it is at the end of the day, I like to read a book. It has nothing to do with self-help. It has nothing to do with business. It is purely just a book that I love to read purely for enjoyment.
All right. And then what's one thing that you could tell anyone that's watching this today, one word of advice that you could give them?
Start before you're ready. And that goes for anything. So if you're thinking about starting a business, start before you feel ready. If you're thinking about hiring a virtual assistant, you're probably already too late. So it's really just start before you're ready, because if you start before you're ready, you're going to figure out everything you need to know. It's going to fall into place. That's truly, and it's truly a fear factor. So the whole, I have to be prepared, or I have to have this, it's a fear that you have. There's some type of fear that's feeding into this block as to why you feel you're not ready. And when
the mindset stuff.
Commit to it. Mm-hmm. And when you just commit to it and you do it, then you're like, oh my gosh, why didn't I do this before? Start before you're ready.
I think the human nature is, we like to, some people, me specifically, I'm used to that grind. I'm used to that struggle. And I was like, you don't have to struggle, You don't have to grind. You don't have to, but then you find the self-worth out of it. And then you're like, oh, but look me, I'm staying. Like, you don't have to do that, right? It can be easy. It can be systemized. And it can. Yeah. Yeah. It
can be systemized. It can be organized. And then it makes it to where you have more free time.
So you can level up.
You can level up, and at the same time still be able to, invest in the things that are important to you. People that visit my LinkedIn, my logo, the reason that it is the way it is it says wife, mom, CEO, realtor. Mm-hmm. The reason that it's like that is because that is the order of my priorities that I have. And everything that I do revolves around those priorities. So anything that comes up, it goes from a list of like, my husband is first, then my kids, then my business, and then it's real estate. Yeah. And when you stem those in the proper prioritizing way, things just come a lot easier and a lot faster.
You need to put yourself as the number one though on the list, right?
Oh, so you do. But you do need to prioritize yourself. But when things come up for other people, you have to realize that you have to prioritize everything. And at the beginning and the end of the day, you have to prioritize yourself first. So every morning I have a routine where I'll take a shower and listen to music. I have a playlist of things that I listen to, and I do it every day. Mm-hmm. And then at the end of the day, I read a book. It's just for me. It's enjoyment. It has nothing to do with self-help. It has nothing to do with business. It has nothing to do with anything I want to learn. It's simply just to enjoy it.
It's just so you know it's nighttime. It's a trigger for you to go, it's nighttime, the day is ending.
Yeah. And then when things come in, I always prioritize them by my priorities. And that way, I get the most important things done first.
Yeah. And I was, I was being serious, and then I was also being kind of, not too funny, but like, putting yourself first is, I guess, more than anything, don't forget to value yourself. Right.
Right.
So that's why I was saying put number one.
Yeah. Value. So you got to have this sense of self-worth of like, it goes into the whole self-talk of, how you talk to yourself is how you should want other people to talk to you. So if you want people to be respectful of you, you also need to be respectful of yourself.
Yeah.
And when you start being respectful of yourself, it emanates. So other people will be respectful of you because you are respectful to yourself.
Totally agree. Well, good job. Thanks again to Allied Medical Marketing for being our sponsor and allowing us to produce this episode Behind the Unicorn. And of course, for our viewers that are watching, and don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, leave a comment, and ring the bell. Do a couple of those 4 things, and it will really help us out. When you subscribe, it'll also make sure that you don't miss the next episode that we put out. See you next time, and thanks a lot from Jennifer, and get desky.